I miss you, Sir Rain. I love you, Sir Rain. Ayun, don't see. Hello, Mix PH. Love you guys. All right, I'm looking for a very special guy. I'm trying to find him. I'm not sure if he's on the live yet. And see, what's up, Albi? What's up, Direct Alco? I miss you, Sir Rain. Okay. Wow, it's been such a long time since I've gone on an IG live. I'm not used to things anymore. Kumusta? How's everyone doing? How's quarantine? How's everyone holding up? Guys, we're gonna be having a really special live with Keshi, and I'm sure I had a wonderful interview with him a couple of weeks back. So if you have any, what's in your earphones go? If you guys have any questions for him, don't be afraid to ask the questions. It's gonna be an there he is. Let's Yes, sir, Rain. Long time, long time. Hey, yeah, there's Keshi.
What's
What's
up,
up, bro?
dude? How are you?
Long time. Doing
Yeah.
well, man.
How long has it been since we chatted? Has it been like a month?
Ah, it's been like a month. Yeah. It was like a
Yeah.
month ago. So in that month, what's changed? I mean, I still see you're at home, back in
Yeah, still at home.
Houston.
Yeah, I mean, still chilling, but I have a grand piano now. We had a grand piano delivered to
Wow.
the house, and it's amazing and it's beautiful and I love it. Don't get me, so I still have this piano back here. It's here for like immediacy. Like if I'm in the studio and
Right.
I feel like I want to add it, like it's there, so I could just turn around and I can just be there. But
So
what's up?
how did you get the like, bro? I have a hard time getting food delivered. How do you how did you get a grand piano delivered?
I mean, I had to go to like a dealer and like buy the grand piano, um, and
Oh
like they
man.
have to like schedule a delivery date for it basically. So
Yo, well, it's great to have you on the live, bro. I've never
sure.
expected this to happen. So thanks for coming on. Thanks
No,
for
but
making the time.
yeah,
And there's a lot of your fans who are excited to have you here as well. And as a lot of the Keshi cult are
yeah.
here now, and they sent a bunch of questions. Bro, I have to ask, do you know where that came from? Because
I think it's been a long time. Like fandom potential name where the fans were talking about it since like I think it's been honestly like a couple of years. Like
right.
it's they've been debating like what the name should be. So it was always one of the options, but I think it was always like kind of the predominant one that was out there. Yeah, it was
So
kind of like around.
just to make sure I'm not joining a cult by listening to your
No, no,
music,
no.
right?
I
Okay.
promise you, you're not. You're good. You're good.
All right, good to
There's
know.
nothing shady going on. I promise.
All right. I just had to make sure, bro. I had that question since because like a couple of weeks back, because one of my
Mhm.
favorite songs, I have to be honest, has to be Atlas
Oh
or
yeah.
Atlas, whatever you pronounce it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's
yeah.
actually someone who asked, what was the oh yeah, I can't find the username, but they asked, what's the inspiration behind Atlas? Because we all know the Greek myth about Atlas holding up the sky. Is that what
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
inspired
yeah.
on?
Yeah.
So tell us how that started. I'm
So
curious.
I'm trying to remember like exactly which part I wrote first. Hold on, let me pull up the lyrics exactly.
There's a part like drop that boulder. It's probably one of
Yeah,
the yeah.
it was when I look at these lyrics, like I'm honestly like a little impressed with myself, if I can say that, because I think it really did. So there are sometimes where I start a song by writing the chorus. This was not one of those songs. I'm pretty sure I started this song with the very first lyric. I can't say tired of falling to my knees. I'm waiting to carry me home like you used to. Yeah, the song is just about me. I remember the mind state that I was kind of in, and it's kind of the similar mind state as when I wrote Skeletons. Um,
Right.
like I didn't feel like I had made the right like decision in life. So I was kind of just like fed up with everything. So that's kind of what it's about, just being kind of so beaten, I guess. Feel like nothing's working for you. That's kind of what Alice is about.
You felt stuck? Wait,
Yeah,
this was already when you were as an artist. You weren't a nurse at this point, right?
no, I was a nurse at this point when I wrote this
Oh,
song.
okay, so
Yeah.
Oh, right, Matt. So this
Yeah.
was during that time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is like kind of like my whatever, fuck it kind of song that I
Right.
was dealing with. Yeah. So yeah.
I actually wanted to ask. I didn't. I was kind of shy during the interview. I wasn't sure if it
No,
was
you're
okay to
good.
ask this because you mentioned that you were a nurse, you were doing music before,
Hmm.
and then you had a bad day, and that was the
Right.
decision to
Right.
just to move completely into music. Can I
Right.
ask what happened that was so
Ah,
bad that made you
yeah.
make that complete jump?
Yeah. So to get a little personal here, like at work, I was always very like upbeat, cheery, and I was very fast with my work. Um,
Right.
and I made it a point to be like really efficient when I did things. So as the as I went through the course of working over the course of 2 years, I progressively became more and more like of an asshole, I think. Like more and more
Mm,
cranky and more just like really easily irritable. Like I could get set off like with the drop of a hat. Um, I really had this mindset where I wanted to go to work and like do my job, not talk to anyone else. And if anybody bugged me,
yeah.
I would just like kind of just like get set off. And like I guess I couldn't really see the progression of that, but my managers could, right? So it was like the smallest thing. One of my coworkers had come up to me, and she was like checking some stuff off, like from a managerial sort of standpoint.
Yeah.
And she came over to tell me like, "Hey, like you're doing this wrong," basically, right? And I
Okay.
remember as soon as she had told me that, I was just chilling in the hallway because I was done with my work. I was trying to just be left alone. Um, she came and told me that, and I just like kind of exploded over nothing. And then I remember feeling so like taken aback at like, wait, why did I get so upset about that? You know? And I had already started having flights to like New York and stuff, and I was like handling the Keshi stuff at the same time. And I got
Wait,
brought in.
at this point, did they know that you were Keshi, or
I
was
mean,
the
I'm sure it was like kind of floating around, but it wasn't like anything yet. It wasn't anything worth like they might have known I was Keshi, but it was nothing worth like bragging about at any certain
right?
point. Um, and then they brought me to my manager's office, and she was like, "Hey, like, what's going on? Like, you're not usually like this. Like, you're usually like completely laid back. Like, so what's the deal?" And I remember like I like could not answer, and I just kind of like started crying. It was actually this
Wow.
yeah. And I started to realize like yeah, like that's not me, and I don't understand why I'm acting this way. So then I had to really take it back and like think about it, and I was like, in the end, whether I was doing music or not, like I don't think this job is for me. Like something about this job is making me not be me. So I made the decision in my mind at that moment, like I think I need to leave. Like I think that's it. And I can't that I think that was the Friday of my work week. I came in the next quote unquote Monday because like nurses work every day,
Oh,
right?
so you had a couple of days in between to make the
Right,
decision.
right. So I came back on the next Monday, and I felt so clear. I felt like the weight was just like completely gone because I had decided at that point like I'm going to be submitting my resignation later, like today. So I felt like so much better, worlds better. Of course, I like had a humongous apology to my coworker who I like snapped at, and she accepted it. She's super graciously accepted it, and
Yeah.
she actually felt really bad though because I had turned in my resignation over that squabble, right?
Oh,
So
so she felt responsible in
yeah,
a way?
she came up to me and she's like, Casey, like nurses need to be tough. Like you can't like needle this like interaction. And I was like, yeah, I don't think you get it. Like I'm trying to like do something else right now. It has nothing to do with nursing or you. Like I'm trying to like go do something. So yeah, that was pretty much it.
Well, on a normal day, what would you have to do? Like, I have a couple of um friends and family, like cousins as
Mhm.
well, that
Yeah,
are nurses or doctors, and I
yeah,
know like the hours that they work. But
yeah.
when you were a nurse, what were the things that you had to do, like on a
Yeah,
daily basis?
So I would to go through my day. There's 9 o'clock meds. So every patient had like they start getting treatment like at 9 o'clock. They're scheduled for it. Well, for the most part. So like any sort of pills or like injections that they need, they
Right.
start. But you can start giving them an hour before to up to an hour later. Beyond those times, it is too early or too late. So you have to follow like to that regimented schedule, right? So it gets tricky, right? When there are things scheduled at like 8 or 10, 8 and 10 and 11 and 1, right? So then you're like, oh, like how do I do this so that I can optimize my time? So you can give the 8 and 10 o'clock meds at 9, and you can give the 11 and 1 o'clock meds at 12, because
Okay.
that's like how you schedule things out. So you block it out that way so that like you're not wasting so that you don't have to go into the room at 8, 10, 11, and 1. You don't have to go 4 times a week.
Okay, so you can just go twice.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you
Um,
have any times where there was like a I don't want to say like I know like you come did you ever have to interact with someone who was like high on medication and then
yeah,
they were like really weird and
yeah,
like really intrusive and stuff?
yeah. I can't like go into like so many specifics because of just like legal reasons, but yeah, like
Right.
for I mean, whether like there are patients who like go to the emergency room because they're like doped up, they're like really high, or there are patients that you have to give medication on the floor and they also get kind of like confused. So that happens, yeah, for sure.
Has anyone like burst out at you? Like maybe not like when they were like not sober or
Uh-huh.
intoxicated or anything, just out of frustration or anger or pain or whatever. Has everyone
Epidemic.
like burst out? Really? Hasn't heard?
Yeah, just literally.
Mad.
That's one of the things like I couldn't take about the job. Like there's always somebody mad at you, whether it's your
Right.
coworkers, your boss, or the patient, or their family, or the doctors. Somebody's mad at you. It doesn't matter what you did. You're wrong always. And I could not take like, I just couldn't take being the the receiver of somebody's like aggression unreasonably. I was just like, why am I dealing with this? So yeah. I mean, listen, some people will say like, sorry, dude, you don't have the guts it takes to be a nurse. But in my eyes, I'm just like, why would you ever want to endure that? So I'm gonna leave. So I left. So
I mean, I feel like even if like even for you, you left nursing
right,
to become like a performer, which
right,
debatably puts you even in more spotlight to get like hit on and
right, 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 right,
battered.
right, right, right. I mean,
But
it's
you're making more music now, which is better for you rather than
yeah,
just swallowing all that stuff before.
yeah, yeah. It's different. I mean, they're similar, but they're very different in my eyes. I think I much prefer this. Yeah.
Has there ever been a time where like like face to face?
Hmm.
Because people will bash you online. Like
Yeah.
they can say whatever they want online. They don't have like, they don't have to be responsible there. Has anyone ever come up to you at like a performance
Hmm.
and like hated on you face to face?
Oh no, but I had one poor experience with a fan, and basically it was at a Houston show, and had a meet and greet for every single concert on tour. And there, for Houston especially, the line to say hi was enormously long.
Well,
And
home court, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly,
So,
yeah. And there was security there, and they were basically saying like, hey, you have to wrap it up because like we're closing. So like me not wanting to like keep people longer than they need to be there, I had to kind of like move the line along. So everyone just like one picture, one like
ooh.
small greeting, and then we have to go, right? I guess maybe that's our mistake for having meet and greet with like anybody who wants to come. It just
Wait, was it you though, or was it someone who was like facilitating the meet and greet?
it was somebody
Because
who's
usually
facility.
there's someone.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was like the guard that was standing there, like helping move the line along. Basically, was saying like we have to move along. And there was one fan who wanted do like a bunch of poses for like a picture and stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, and she was taking a lot of time, so I had to be like, I'm sorry, like we can only do like one picture, and thank you for coming, and but like we can only do one. And she threw a bit of an attitude, and she basically like had this notion of like, I came all the way to see you and you won't like do these poses for me.
Mm.
But then to me personally, it felt kind of like, I'm not like an animal that'll like just do tricks for you. Like I came to perform for you, you know? But after I didn't do the pose, she just like walked off. She didn't even like do a picture or like anything. She just like stormed off. And I was just like, okay, thank you for coming, you know? But it did leave a sour taste in my mouth. And it made me realize like there are some people out there who are going to, it's kind of a similar thing as the nursing thing, right? They're just kind of see you as like not a person, I guess. So,
Well, like it's really gonna. There's a thin line. I'm sure you know that thin line. It's like the thin line of being like in the middle, the gray area of in between being like appreciative to your fans and then being
right.
like they think they own you. So
Yeah,
how do you
exactly.
balance that out?
Dude, I'm
Like
still trying
if
to figure that out. I think honestly the way that I've been doing that is just like be appreciative of all my fans and all my listeners. And sometimes I'm going to get treated a little poorly every now and then, but I think it's inevitable
right.
with such a large sample size, right? I mean, it's inevitable.
Has there I gotta I want to know because here in
Hmm.
the Philippines,
Right.
I think everyone watching right now that lives in the
Hmm.
Philippines can relate to the fact that Philippines has like in terms of fangirling, fanboying, or being a fan in general,
Yeah.
different levels. Like they will scream, they will
No,
try and
yeah,
like
yeah,
run and
yeah.
hug you. I
Yeah, yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's
I've
different type of love.
right. I've never
So
been there
has
to experience it, but I've seen like videos of like my favorite bands and like artists go there, and they're just like, whoa,
have you
right?
are you a fan of any K-pop?
I wouldn't say K-pop. I like a lot of K-R&B.
Right, okay. But like
Yeah,
any I think majority of anyone from Korea, whether it be an
yeah,
actor or a
yeah.
performer, if they come here, the crowds, man. And I'm sure if you
Are
came here as
crazy.
well, there would be a lot of people waiting for you. But my question is,
Yeah,
since you've had like a lot of live performances and you had like meet and greets before, has there been
right.
anyone that's I mean, sometimes there are some like I don't want to say horror stories, but like
Yeah.
people will run like break through security, it goes in slow motion,
Gone.
and
Oh,
then
oh,
just like
like
jump on you.
no,
Have you ever
like
been
there.
kissed by a fan?
Oh, have I? No, I've never been kissed by a fan before. Um, yeah, nobody's really ever gotten like super out of line, like at a meet and greet or anything. So I think that's like pretty good so far. Yet to see though. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood, knock on
Yeah.
wood. There's actually a question here that I want to read.
Yeah.
It's from this is Den Harvey Lowell. This is on Twitter. At Ask Keshi, what is your favorite tattoo? You have a sleeve, don't you?
Yeah, I have a whole
Is that
sleeve.
right?
Yeah, it's here. It's right over here. I can just kind of
Let us
roll.
see.
Yeah. Here's so I got this done in Japan, in Shinjuku, and I met an artist who was gracious enough to work on me. And this is my favorite one. I mean, like all of it. But I mean, I specifically asked for three of these peonies all over. So I have one here, and one here-ish. I can't remember. Somewhere around here.
What is the tattoo actually of? What's the design?
It's just like a big sleeve. It has a tiger on it. It has like things that you'd see in like a traditional Japanese sort of irizumi tattoo. So like floral stuff is a common theme. Like certain patterns are a common theme. Like waves or like wind bars or that sort of thing. So yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think I've been kind of selfish with I've been asking all the questions I want to ask. I haven't been asking the questions that the people have been sending in. So,
No, you're good.
okay, let's just go through a few of them real quick.
Yeah.
Um, okay, here's one from EJB chapter. If there
Mhm.
was one thing that you would give music up for, who or what and why?
Oh,
Like,
what?
say if you had like a relationship with your dream person, would you give up
Ah,
music for them?
I couldn't give up music. Honestly, I couldn't give up music for anything. But for the sake of answering the question, like, of course I would. I'm like my family, I guess. Like this is like the only thing that I could think of that I would possibly trade it for. It's like so inherent to my being, like so foreign to think about. But yeah, my family.
So so if the let me ask another question though. If you had um like one of those superhero movies,
Mhm.
and you're the superhero, but you have
Right.
to sacrifice, like, let's say it's a gang movie or like a gangster movie. They end up breaking your hands in order for you to save your wife or your girlfriend, whoever it may be.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And would you either walk away, leave your leave your girl there, and keep your hands, or have your hands broken, never be able to play the guitar again?
Okay, honestly, the hands breaking thing is so like it sounds so unpleasant. It sounds so much more unpleasant than just like losing my musicality. But I definitely have to go through getting my hands broken, I guess. Give me
I'm
morphine.
pretty sure. I'm sure like all the fangirls there are pretty excited to hear that answer.
Ow.
Um, how about this? Let's talk about your music a little bit. A
Mhm.
little bit more about like your songs itself. Um, in terms of creating music, are you a perfectionist? Has there ever been a time where like you've released a song and we were and was like, man, I should have changed this. Oh man, I should have done that.
Uh
Wrong timing on the song.
yeah, so like I definitely am a perfectionist, to the point where like I used to have a lot of trouble determining when a song was like done, quote unquote. I couldn't figure out when. I would constantly just work on it like over and over again, or I would listen to it over and over and over and think like something's missing. I can't put this out yet. Um, so yes, in that regard. And has there ever been something that has bugged me in previous releases? Yes. Back when I mixed my own records, which was Skeletons and before,
Yeah.
um, I would think like, oh man, I should have done this, or oh man, I should have done this. But I'm not gonna say which song or like what aspect of the song, because then y'all are gonna listen to it and you will never be able to unhear it ever. So I won't say exactly which qualities, but yeah, there have been instances where I'm like, oh, maybe I should have turned like this a little bit lower, or yeah. But I've learned a lot as a mixer, so I think I'd like to think I can do a pretty decent job now. So in hindsight, of course, like there are things like, oh man, I should have done this or that. Yeah.
Has there like for me, there are times where like when I'm good at something
Mm-hmm.
and then I see someone else like in a video game. For example, I play a video game called Mobile Legends Online,
Uh
and I
huh.
watch other people play. I'm like, man, I could have done that better. Has there ever been a
Yeah.
time where you've listened to other songs and be like, okay, I would have done this, or I would have changed
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. I mean, of course, there are definitely songs where I've listened to and thought like, oh, like why did they make this decision? Like, but it's hard to question like another artist's like intent. Like, they are the artist and they wanted to make the song like this way. So, like you're just like, okay, this is their decision, and then you have your freedom to kind of like criticize or think what you want. But I think more than anything, just listening to any like artist music is inspiring. Whether it's like really, really good and it blows you away, or it's like really, really popular and you don't think it's that deserving of it, then you're like, I could do, better. So then you yourself go and you write your own song. So there's two different kinds of inspiration, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely, bro, definitely.
Yeah.
There's this one question. I was trying to find it. That's why I seemed a little zoned out at the moment.
No, you're good.
It's like they actually asked in Tagalog or in
Mm-hmm.
Filipino. They
Mm-hmm.
said, Keshi, are you single? Everyone wants to know this. This question has come up a lot. So for
I
everyone who's
I
just dying to know.
yeah, I'm engaged, so no, I'm not single.
No way. I had no idea.
Oh,
Wait,
I
is it
didn't I
legit?
tell you during the interview?
Either
I
I
may have
have a bad
not.
memory or
I may have not. I
I
may have
don't
not.
think so.
Yeah,
Wait,
I may have
legit?
not. Yeah, actually, yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
How is this publicly known already?
I mean, yeah. Like I mean it's not like I like talk about it excessively, but like if people ask, like I'll answer. Like I won't lie. Yeah.
Mad. Okay, you don't have to tell. Of course, I'm not gonna invade like your privacy and stuff,
No,
but
you're good. You're good.
um, like when was this? Like how long
Uh
ago?
November. November. We were in Hawaii. It was really nice.
How long have you guys been together?
A while. It's been like I don't want to give this answer away, but I'll just say a
Okay,
while. Yeah, you're good.
a
You're good.
while.
Yeah, yeah.
But Matt, I had no idea. Like, how old are you again, bro?
25. I know I don't look it, but I'm
Okay,
25. Yeah. How old are
bro,
you?
I'm 19, man.
19.
Wait, so I'll put a timer for 6 years. I have to be
Yeah,
engaged
there
by
you
that
go.
point.
I think it's like a
Do you,
pretty decent age to like to be engaged. Like it's not like too early and it's not like too late, I feel.
right.
Yeah.
Wait, wait, are you guys together? Sorry, like someone
No,
even
no, you're good. You're
messaged,
good.
don't Edward, don't be a gossiper.
No,
No, I was kind of shook by this,
no,
man.
yeah, you're good.
Do you
You're
guys
good.
live together?
Yeah, she's working like over there. She's like working
Oh
from
man,
home. Yeah. She's literally across
oh
the
man. As part of the Keshi cult, I kind of want to find out who, but I respect your privacy, bro. I respect,
You're good, you're
of
good.
course, like there's certain parts of your life that you got to keep private.
Right,
Have
right.
you ever experienced that, like someone trying to get in, like into the inner
Yeah.
circle or into your personal life?
Um, it's funny, like people will go through, like really, I feel like really diehard fans will go through the people that I follow, and they will find who I follow are, and like I follow a lot of like artists and like other celebrities and stuff, but I follow a lot of my friends too. So they will just follow anyone I follow, and a lot of my friends will DM me and they'll be like, "Hey, I just got a bunch of requests. Like, what is this?" You know? Um, so yeah, they have kind of like reached out to my personal friends occasionally, but I think like no one's done anything like so out of line yet, you know?
Right, right.
Yeah.
I just want to say a quick shout out to James Aiden, my pastor in the church. What's up, Pastor James? Sorry, I just had to say that
What's
because
up, Pastor
this guy
James?
hashtag favorite church. But I wanted to ask, like we asked, we talked about it a little bit earlier about
Mm.
hate in public.
Right.
Have you like, of course, I know that you've seen like bashes online or like hate online. I mean, we all have. We've
Uh-huh.
all gone through it.
Right.
How have you handled that? Like in terms of like even when I'm interviewing right now, bro. Even in the last interview, you're super chill.
Yeah.
It seems like you don't get bothered by stuff anymore.
Me?
um,
Oh.
yeah. So have you ever got like how do you deal with the hate online or like not necessarily hate, just hate
uh
for any reason? People will just try and make your day bad. How do you
yeah,
handle that?
I am pretty chill just in a regular like life in general. But of course like it takes like just one bad comment in a sea of like praise to make your day feel like awful. And it's funny because like some days I'll be like really down after like having read like a criticism or anything. And sometimes it'll get me like really personally. And I'll be down for the whole day. And then like my fiance will have to be like, "Hey, like what's wrong?" And then like we'll kind of talk about it. And she's just like, fuck it. Like there's a million comments that are saying like great things. So like why do you care?
Yeah.
Um but then I can't feel like personally so butthurt about it because like everybody has their right to criticism. And I have to be open to criticism. I have to be okay with it and like take it constructively. Like even if it is like really harsh or like not even constructive at all, I have to understand where that person is coming from whenever they say that thing and be like, okay, so this is what they actually mean by it, and I can work on that in the future, you know? So yeah.
Has there ever been someone who's like someone because it's different when you get like criticism from a friend or from like a coworker or someone who knows the industry, someone who knows music rather than
Right.
someone who's just like a fan or on social media, a troll online. So
Yeah.
is it
That is
harder getting criticism from people close to you?
no, it's easier. Definitely easier.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, definitely easier. I think that it is a little bit harder getting criticism from somebody who doesn't understand like all the nuances of like the work and everything because like there's a lot that goes into it and everything that I've done is intentional. So like it does kind of suck. But they even without knowing the ins and outs behind like my work or the things that I do or the industry, like they are allowed to criticize like as much as they want or very freely. So like what can I do? Like, I just have to
Right,
take it
right.
as effectively as I can. Yeah.
I want to know, like, since you started off, on SoundCloud, producing on like GarageBand on your own laptop,
Yeah.
and you're like a true laptop producer.
Yeah.
How did it like, move to, when you became, I don't like when you really became like solidly mainstream,
Hmm.
and you started working with a label and everything. Is
Hmm.
there like, do they, like, I'm not hitting on your label or anything. Like, have they ever
No, no.
tried to like say, um, okay, maybe change this part of the song? Like you as an
Hmm.
artist, with you putting like your heart in a track and then
Hmm.
them telling you to change something, has that ever happened, or how do you handle it, or how did you handle it
So
if it happened?
that's never happened. They give me a lot of like creative freedom. And I think that's just like they knew they understand what kind of artist I am when like we signed the deal, that I pretty much make everything on my own. And like I feel like labels get a bad rep for like doing that. Like people think that they um like are like that because of how the media portrays them. But like um they how do I put it? Like they try to give like whatever artist they have like the resources whatever they need. So if they feel like if the artist is saying like, hey, I'm struggling like writing but I can produce really well, like they'll get them in a room with writers. Or if they're a really great songwriter but they don't know how to record themselves, they'll get them in a room with
Mm.
like really great producers. So whatever piece that they're missing, they will try to pair them with. So when I got on board with Island, they understood that like I like to create everything by myself. So I've definitely gotten into rooms with different people, but I've still been able to like write songs on my own. So everything that I've released is still everything I've written and produced on my own. And in terms of like submitting the song to them and them giving any sort of feedback, the feedback is almost never like creative. It's always like in notes of like mixing or like this sort of thing, or like
So it's more about like the technical side.
yeah, exactly. So they've never like ever been like, yeah, you can't like put that song out. If ever, like I'm kind of iffy on a track and I will send it to them, specifically like my A&R, and he might say like, oh yeah, like I agree, like I'm not really feeling this track either, or like, oh I agree, like I really like this track. So it's kind of like that.
Has there ever been a time where you've, I think the term you used before in our last interview was studio rat. Did I get that right? Like you
Yeah,
stay
yeah,
in the
yeah,
studio a lot.
yeah, yeah,
Has
yeah.
there ever been a time where like you're just stuck, like, or had writer's block or
Oh
anything like
yeah,
that?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, that happens like really frequently. I would say like a lot of the time, like you are struggling to, like you are constantly moving through block. I guess I like to think about it like that. Like I'm constantly trying to work through a block. So there are going to be a few days where I'm just like not writing or just not feeling inspired, and then there will be one golden day where like I spend the whole day. The day just like zooms by, and I'm writing the whole day, and I have like a song that's releasable. Like I feel like I have a very high standard for like what songs I want to put out, and I don't want to put out anything that's below it. So on those
Right.
golden
There's a
days, like
standard.
yeah, there are those rare days where like the song just super like just goes way past it, and I'm like, yep, this is one of the songs that's on the next record. Like I know it. So yeah,
There's this one question I actually really want to ask you. It's
yeah. What's
from
up?
Akshita Imida.
Mhm.
Keshi, when are you dropping the collab with Rich Brian? Is there a collab with Rich
Oh,
Brian?
well, I sent him a track a while ago, and he really liked it. I
No
just sent him
way.
I sent him like a snippet of it, and he was like, "Oh, dude, like I need this." So I fleshed it out, and I sent him the whole thing, but he hasn't gotten back to me yet. So we will see. It's to be seen. Like I actually told my manager I was going to hit him up and ask him like, "What's up?" So I will do that after this call, probably.
Well, oh no way. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, can I stay on the call then?
No,
No, but
it's gonna be a text, bro.
were you ever like surprised by his voice? Like, 'cause that dude has like a low voice when he
Yeah, no, I
raps.
remember when he first came out with Dat Stick, and I listened to it. I was just like, yo, this song kind of lit though, and his voice was
Yeah.
like hella deep. I love it though.
Actually, there was a question from my acting coach, Anna Fileo.
Yeah,
I love you, Miss Anna.
yeah,
She said, "Do you ever get burnt out in terms of like creating
yeah.
music, performing, being in the
Um,
spotlight?"
you take. I think it's just gotten taken used to. Um, I don't think I've been in it long enough to be burnt out. I would hate to be burnt out 2 years into it. Um,
Right.
but I only did like 9 shows on tour, and by the like fifth show, like I was like kind of over the initial hype of I'm going on tour. You know, it was definitely work, and I wouldn't say burnt out, but it was like exhausting. Being on tour is exhausting. I love it though, but exhausting.
Like since you're performing the same songs, and like I gotta say, some of
Mhm.
my favorite songs from you is "Too Soon," "Blue," "Atlas." Like those are
Yeah.
like back to back in my playlist. Like playing the same songs.
Hmm.
Like when we hear it, we as the audience, when we hear it, it's like for the first time again, or we're hearing it
Right.
live. Oh, it's fresh, it's new.
Right. Right.
But when
Right.
you're on tour and you're performing it, like how many like twice a week? Is that safe in terms of like the timeline or
Oh
every
no,
day?
I would say like 4 times a week or 5 times a week. Like
So
the
like
days are really close.
how is it like going from one show, putting all your energy there, and then a couple days later, like 1 or 2 days later, you're performing it in front of a new crowd, and
That like
does it get
the
boring or
the
like
no no
burnt
no no no
rushed out?
not at all. The process of traveling and getting set up and everything is a pain in the ass. Like it's so exhausting, and then like having to set up over and over again, and then unload, and then reload, and then like go back to the hotel, sleep, and then get on a flight. I hate it. But every time I'm on stage, like it all just washes away. Like the energy is just like so crazy, and the adrenaline just like comes back into me. So yeah,
What's
you
your
can
favorite
perform
song to play if
too
it's
soon.
live? Too soon? Why
Yeah.
why too soon? I heard actually I'm not gonna lie, I knew that answer already. I saw it in like a another interview, but
Yeah, yeah.
why too soon specifically? Like, because that's
Uh,
one of the deeper song. Not is it deeper?
I think
Um,
I think it
to
is
me
the
to me more meaningful.
I I think I have a good answer for this. It is because it is the first song that most people listen to from me, and it is one of the early songs, like the old like quote unquote like really like hit songs that people really resonated with. So it is the first of those songs, you know. I feel like a lot of the big songs are like I Need You, Too Soon. I would say like Right Here is one of those songs. Like Just Friends. Those are all like some of
Yeah.
the like S tier Keshi songs that people really love. And Too Soon was the very first one of those. So when I play that, it's kind of like I feel like people feel personally addressed. So I think that's one of the reasons why I love it so much, and I think it's one of the reasons why the crowds love it so much.
I mean, for me, from an admirer of your music, like I say, as soon as it more than the other songs that you have. Oh, wait, VJ Danny. I don't know if you remember. VJ Danny is also part of Mix. She interviewed you before.
Yeah. Hey,
She
Danny.
says hi.
Hi.
There, hi. Wait, what was I gonna say now? From a viewer's perspective, it's one of those songs that as soon as it comes up, it has the atmosphere set already before
Yeah,
the
yeah,
lyrics even come.
yeah.
I'm not a musician. How do you say the pling plong, the
The
twinkle, the twinkle at the beginning
oh,
of the song?
the bells.
Yeah, the bells. Oh
Yeah, yeah,
gosh, like
yeah,
you
yeah.
can tell who the musician here is. Um, Man,
We're
okay, that's
good.
actually one of my favorite songs. But I want another question that I actually just got a phone in question
Hmm.
from someone who doesn't want to be named. She said, I have to translate it. Like at the moment, especially since we're all in quarantine,
Right.
it's how do you say uso? Ano yung uso sa English? At the moment, a lot of people are doing it.
Uh-huh.
Since everyone's like single in quarantine, people can't go out.
Right.
A lot of people are like flirting online with,
Uh,
people in their class, people at work,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then like people are getting heartbroken. I mentioned this like weeks ago. I had a friend who was a victim of, he was just talking to a girl like his actual crush. He was really
right,
feeling good about it. And
right,
then she admitted to him, I respect her for saying this,
right.
um, that she was just bored.
Oh no!
So,
Oh no! Fuck.
I mean, engaged now. Like
Right.
you're past that point. You don't have to worry about that stuff anymore.
Right.
But to
Right.
everyone out there, either a victim of it or doing it at the moment, what do you have to say? This is kind of like a weird out of nowhere question, but I wanted to know your
Um,
thoughts.
Play at your own risk. That's
Ooh.
that's the that's the I think the only thing I can say. Um, but I mean, we are all human. We all need love and affection. I understand. Um, but it is hard. Be wary that somebody's not just bored and trying to like get some, attention from you.
I
That's
mean,
all I got.
simple as that. Simple as that.
Was that play your
But
own?
has there ever been, I want to say, like, since you are engaged now, I want to know,
Yeah.
um, because if I had a voice, man, I'd be using it
Oh
like
no, dude, no,
all the
no,
time.
no, no,
No,
no.
I don't mean like for no, I don't mean like as a player, but I mean
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
to make my whoever fall more in love with me, like to use it to my advantage. Of course,
yeah.
like
Right, right. No,
use
I
the
feel you.
gifts
I
that you
feel you.
have, right?
I feel you. I feel
When
you.
you were still in the courting phase before you guys
Right,
got engaged, did you
right.
ever use your voice to like impress her or anything
Um,
for like a date?
she's known me for a while, so she's always known that I could like sing. Well, she's known me before I could sing too. She knew me like when I was like
Oh
I could
wow.
sing shit. So no, it never. I don't think it ever. I think she always thought like I'm like a good like musician, but I don't think she was ever like wooed by it. Like after
Um,
a while, because like how do I put it? I think that people think that musicians can like on Valentine's Day, they can just like sing their loved one a song and serenade them and be so romantic.
get the
But when
guitar
it's
out.
like yeah, when it's like the most normal thing in the world, it doesn't even like that. That's not even an idea that could possibly like fly. That's like that's just awkward at that point. Now, if it were
Okay, that kind of ruins my plans.
no, no. If it were, listen, if it were, like, if it were really early on in the relationship, I think it would be cute. I think it would be like, I think the girl would appreciate it a lot. But if it's been like a couple years, they would just be like, what is this? Like, what are you doing?
I mean, we're all stuck in quarantine at the moment. Like, were there plans for the wedding already, or did they kind of just get
Honestly,
messed up
yeah.
because of quarantine?
Fuck. Like, we were supposed to like go look at venues and like go plan and everything, but it's kind of just like been put off for now because like I'm sure venues and stuff are open right now though, to like to go meet with and just like plan for. But I think she and I are just like kind of in the throes of work right now. So we're just like gonna think like, okay, we'll put it off for a little bit. So yeah.
Sayang. Sayang means sorry, that was Tagalog. It means what a shame
Oh
or like
yeah.
what a waste. So
Rip LF.
that's how we're all feeling at the moment. But
Yeah.
Keshi, I mean, it's felt like a minute, but it's been 40 almost 45 minutes of the live.
For
I
sure.
just wanted to ask for everyone who's sending questions, for everyone watching right now, for everyone who's really excited for you to come to the Philippines when all of this COVID-19 is over. What is your message to everyone who supports you?
I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for all your support. I can't wait to see you guys, and I hope to be in the Philippines to play some shows for you guys soon. I will let you guys know.
Let us know, bro.
Yeah,
As in like let me know first so I
yeah,
can
I
like
will
get the
let you know
tickets
first.
before.
I'll send you that fat DM, dude.
Yeah, appreciate it, bro. But I
Yeah,
have
for
one
sure,
favor. Can you do me one favor?
for sure.
Um, I mean, we talked about it. Everyone's like spamming it in the comments. I have honestly, I'll try and show you
Mm-hmm.
a couple of on my phone as well. A
Uh-huh.
couple of people messaged me privately trying to get it done. Can we hear too soon? Live
Oh,
from your place right now.
too
I
soon.
mean,
Okay, yeah, sure.
acoustic version, exclusive.